Okay, so forgive the mess, because I can't leave anything outside of the camper, and my van was pretty full, so there's junk on the floor. This is what it looks like with the entire dinette gone. I have tons of room. I do have these little, that was the hole from my heat, which doesn't work. These are the two holes for my dinette table. That's the area that I was talking about. I have the door for this that goes there. I do not have a top for this. And as near as I can tell, there's nothing behind that. It butts up into my cabinets over here, which they're in pretty good shape. And you can't get there. So I don't really know what that is. I'm pointing this out because I thought with the plug being right there and this being, well, almost 5 feet high to my head, that would be a good place to stick a washer. I could get it in this little corner here. Like I said, there's a plug. The sink is probably, it would be 5 feet from it if I had to let the water run out in the sink, or if I had to hook the hose from the sink to the washer. Let's talk about my nasty sink. I thought it was metal. It's not metal. It is, well, it's actually ceramic, believe it or not. Kind of gross. That's gross. That came from my hood vent. People who lived in this before just really didn't know how to caulk things, but that's okay. So let's talk about my stove. Here's my stove, and it's the only thing in here that's gas. Underneath my stove is an area where my furnace used to be. All my hoses are there, but the furnace was taken out because it didn't work. Now, above my stove is that little thing we were talking about. My hood vent is nasty, but on this hood vent, these things actually work. I saw them work. It tells you how much is in the holding tank, how much is in the gray tank, how much fresh water you have, and how much battery charge you have. Over here is the buttons for the monitoring and the water pump to pump water into, the RV. Above that space sits a teeny tiny little microwave, which I'm sure was a replacement because the hole is pretty big. So when I get a chance, I've already measured that hole. I'm going to get a microwave that actually fits in there because I don't really need all that empty space. Next up is my refrigerator that I told you I'm fairly certain does not come with the camper, because see how far it sticks out? It does not stick out evenly. This camper too is this refrigerator too is probably 5 feet tall. It doesn't sit on the floor because there's another system underneath it, which we'll talk about in a minute. But we talked about this nasty, nasty refrigerator. It's pretty gross. It's dirty. It's disgusting. It's pretty gross. You can tell they put aftermarket clasps on them. That this really wasn't an RV refrigerator, I don't believe. But whatever. So that thing under my refrigerator, I'm sorry I'm huffing and puffing, it is incredibly hot in here. This is my fuse panel underneath my refrigerator next to the floor. And there's what they labeled. There's my little fuse box. Over here next to the refrigerator is another cabinet. It's an okay shape. I'm not going to bother painting the inside because that's just more effort. I'm going to clean it really well, and I'm going to put shelf liners in it. And under that cabinet, this is the same kind of cabinet as in the bathroom. Under here are a bunch of, that's a motor to something. Oh, that's my water pump motor. And that is, I'm not sure. I'm going to stick the phone in there to see if I can see what that really is. I don't know what that says. Can't see it. Jabsco something. Unfortunately, in order to see it, my flash is kind of doing whatever it's doing. I don't know, I'll have to Google that. But, yeah, continuation of, there's the water pump, and then, of course, directly on the other side of that little cabinet is the section where the dogs are going. I just temporarily threw those cushions up on top of it so I would have a place to sit, but there's my water. There's my clean water tank and all the other plumbing that I showed you a couple videos back. There's my rock that I don't have enough of to go in the bathroom. So we're going to walk up to the bathroom. Now, this is what I was talking about. That's gray primer. And it actually looks kind of nice. I started to paint over the gray primer with the white. And I don't really know if I want it white or if I want to paint it back gray. But this is the bathroom. Ta-da! Completely painted. All I have to do is put the doors back on. There's one of the vents that I have to replace. There's that crazy area above my shower that if you get a closer look, I'm going to get some, I believe, wood 4-inch and kind of go over that and then put a block here and screw back into the holes. That's to hold the shower in place because I just really don't think this is what came with it, because that corner back there doesn't actually reach the wall. So we were talking about the wonky way of how I'm going to get a shower curtain. So this piece here is not level with this piece here as far as I can't put a shower curtain to it. So I might be able to put a hook and then a hook here and then put the shower curtain through those two hooks across the way. Let's talk about my crazy floor. So when I was telling you about angles and how it's going to be hard to cut a floor for in here, I'm going to fabricate a box for that water line back there after I get the floor in. But you've got this square piece that goes over to that piece, and then that angle shoots back that way, and then it shoots back straight, and then it comes against the cabinet, then it comes across the cabinet, then it shoots back into that wall, then that little piece, and then this little piece right here actually juts back the other way. Plus I have the little funky stuff around the tub, how the tub kind of goes in and does all kinds of crazy things. It's not going to be impossible, but I think it'll be quite a feat for me to try to cut linoleum in that crazy pattern and get it right. So it's a pretty pattern. It kind of flows to the toilet area. River rock, if I could find some. I don't have enough of the kind of river rock that I have that I've been toting around with me for 4 years. But maybe I can find something cheap. We'll see.